The screams stopped at midnight, just like they always did. King Emeka wiped the blood from his hands and smiled at the silence from the tower room. His second wife would never speak against him again. 20 years ago, King Emeka had been different. He married his first wife, Adanna, with love and hope. But power changed him into something dark and cruel. Adanna gave birth to 2 children, Prince Chukwudi and Princess Obioma. She tried to be a good mother and queen. But Emeka grew angry when she questioned his harsh laws. One night, Adanna ate dinner with her family. The food tasted bitter, but she said nothing. By morning, she was dead in her bed, foam on her lips. The palace doctor said it was a heart. But Prince Chukwudi, only 12 years old, saw his father burn Adanna's dinner plate. He never forgot that sight. 6 months later, Emeka married Lady Ngozi, a young woman from a poor family. She was scared of him but had no choice. Her parents needed the money. Ngozi tried to be kind to Chukwudi and Obioma. She read them stories and played games with them. But Emeka didn't like it when she spent time with Adanna's children. "They are not your children," he told her one night. His voice was cold as winter. Ngozi nodded and backed away from him. Emeka had a younger brother named Ikechukwu. Ikechukwu was everything Emeka was not: kind, fair, and loved by the people. This made Emeka hate him even more. Ikechukwu often visited the palace to see his nephews and niece. He brought them gifts and told them stories about their mother. Emeka watched from the shadows, his anger growing. "Uncle Ikechukwu," little Obioma would say. "Tell us about Mama." Ikechukwu would smile and speak of Adanna's kindness. But he always checked to make sure Emeka wasn't listening. Ngozi became pregnant. She hoped the baby would make Emeka happy and soften his cruel heart. But nothing could change what he had become. When the baby was born, a son they named Chinedu, Emeka seemed pleased for a day. Then he went back to his cruel ways. He made new laws that hurt the poor people. Anyone who spoke against King Emeka disappeared in the night. Their families never saw them again. The pit under the palace grew full of bones. Prince Chukwudi was now 16 and saw everything his father did. He tried to protect his sister Obioma and stepmother Ngozi, but he was just a boy. He felt helpless and angry. Obioma, now 14, had nightmares every night. She dreamed of her mother and woke up crying. Ngozi would hold her, but she was scared too. Everyone in the palace was scared. Baby Chinedu was the only one who didn't know about the evil in the palace. He laughed and played, innocent of his father's crimes. But even his laughter couldn't bring light to the dark halls. Emeka began to see enemies everywhere. He killed servants for small mistakes. He locked people in the tower for looking at him wrong. His madness grew like a disease. One day, he accused Ngozi of trying to poison him. She had only brought him water when he was sick. But Emeka saw poison in everything she did. "You want to kill me like I killed Adanna," he screamed. Ngozi turned white. Now she knew the truth about her husband's first wife. She knew she would be next. That night, Ngozi went to Prince Chukwudi's room. "We have to leave," she whispered. "Your father is going to kill us all." Chukwudi had been thinking the same thing. They planned to escape with Obioma and baby Chinedu. Ikechukwu had a small palace in the mountains where they could hide. But they had to be very careful. For 3 days, they gathered food and clothes in secret. Obioma sewed gold coins into Chinedu's baby clothes. They would leave on the night of the new moon when it was darkest. The night came. Ngozi carried Chinedu while Chukwudi and Obioma followed behind. They crept through the palace halls like mice, afraid to breathe too loud. They reached the palace gate. The guard was asleep. Chukwudi had put sleeping herbs in his wine. They slipped out into the cold night air. Freedom was so close. But Emeka couldn't sleep. He went to Ngozi's room and found it empty. His roar of anger woke everyone in the palace. "Find them," he screamed. Emeka and his soldiers rode hard through the night. They had horses and knew the roads. The family on foot could not run fast enough with a baby. By dawn, they could hear the horses getting closer. Chukwudi told Ngozi to take Obioma and Chinedu and hide in the forest. He would lead the soldiers away. No, Ngozi said. We stay together. But Chukwudi was already running toward the road, shouting to get the soldiers' attention. He loved his family more than his own life. The soldiers caught Chukwudi first. They tied his hands and threw him over a horse like a sack of grain. Emeka smiled when he saw his son captured. Then they found Ngozi, Obioma, and Chinedu hiding in a cave. The baby was crying from hunger and cold. Obioma tried to protect her stepmother, but she was just a girl. Please, Ngozi begged. Let the children go. Punish me, but they are innocent. Emeka laughed. He had no mercy left in his heart. They were dragged back to the palace as prisoners. The people in the village watched in silence. They wanted to help but were too afraid of their king. Emeka locked Chukwudi in the highest tower. Ngozi and baby Chinedu went to the prison. Obioma was put in a different cell so they couldn't comfort each other. That night, the whole palace could hear Ngozi crying for her baby. Chinedu was too young to understand why his mother couldn't hold him. His cries echoed through the stone walls. Ikechukwu heard about the capture from a traveling merchant. He rode to the palace as fast as his horse could carry him. He had to try to save his brother's family. Brother, Ikechukwu said when he met Emeka in the great hall. Let them go. They are your family. Your wife and children. But Emeka's eyes were empty of love. They tried to leave me, Emeka said. They must be punished. Even you cannot change my mind. Ikechukwu saw that his brother was truly lost to madness. Emeka decided to have a trial, but it was just for show. He had already decided their fate. The whole court was forced to watch, including Ikechukwu. You are guilty of treason, Emeka announced. The punishment is death. Ngozi fainted when she heard the words. Obioma screamed for her father to show mercy. Only Chukwudi stood silent. He looked at his father with hate but also pity. He knew Emeka had destroyed himself with his evil choices. Ikechukwu was allowed to visit the prisoners one last time. He brought them food and tried to give them comfort. Obioma clung to him and cried. Take care of Chinedu, Ngozi whispered to Ikechukwu. He is innocent in all this. Don't let him become like his father. Ikechukwu promised he would protect the baby. Chukwudi gave Ikechukwu a letter for the people of the kingdom. It told the truth about their father and asked them to be strong. Someone has to remember who we really were, he said. The execution was set for sunrise. Emeka wanted to watch his family die before the whole kingdom. He had built a wooden platform in the castle courtyard. But Ikechukwu had one last plan. He had brought loyal friends who were hiding outside the palace. They would try to rescue the prisoners during the confusion. As the sun came up, Ngozi, Chukwudi, and Obioma were brought out in chains. The whole palace watched in silence. Even the birds seemed to stop singing. Just as the executioner raised his axe, Ikechukwu's men attacked. Arrows flew from the walls. Smoke filled the courtyard. In the chaos, Ikechukwu caught his family's chains. Run! Ikechukwu shouted. Chukwudi grabbed Obioma's hand. Ngozi clutched baby Chinedu. They fought their way toward the palace gate through the battle. But Emeka was not finished. He grabbed a sword and chased after them himself. His face was twisted with rage and madness. He would kill them all with his own hands. Ikechukwu turned to face his brother at the palace gate. I won't let you hurt them anymore, he said. The two brothers fought with swords while the others escaped. Emeka was stronger, but Ikechukwu was fighting for love. Emeka was fighting for pride and anger. Their swords clashed again and again in the morning light. Then Emeka made a mistake. He swung too hard and left himself open. Ikechukwu's sword found his heart. Emeka looked surprised as he fell to the ground. "Brother," Emeka whispered as he died. For just a moment, his eyes were clear and sorry. Then he was gone, and the palace was free from his evil. The soldiers threw down their weapons. The servants cheered. The prisoners in the prisons were set free. The kingdom celebrated the end of the wicked king's rule. Ikechukwu became king, but he was different from his brother. He made fair laws and helped the poor. He married Ngozi and adopted all the children as his own. 10 years passed. Prince Chukwudi grew up to be a good and just man. Princess Obioma became a healer who helped sick people. Little Chinedu grew up never knowing his real father's evil. The kingdom prospered under King Ikechukwu's rule. People were no longer afraid to speak their minds or live their lives. The dark days of King Emeka were remembered only as a warning. But sometimes, on dark nights when the wind howled around the palace, people said they could still hear screams from the tower where the wicked king had done his evil deeds. Some said his ghost still walked the halls, looking for forgiveness he would never find.